What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television. I want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing. Hope today is the day we earn your subscription, but we're going to get back into our coverage of Excalibur, the first volume here, and we're up to issue 10, okay? And here's the cover. And we're going to see, I might have to cover a part of this up here. This is who they're facing. Now, this particular issue starts setting up a story that's going to start taking place in Excalibur in issue 12. That's going to last about 9 issues, I believe. It's called the Cross Time Caper. And this is kind of how that starts coming into play here, because what this issue deals with is Excalibur facing alternate reality versions of themselves, okay? And basically where we're at with this particular story is that Moira McTaggart and Callisto from this alternate reality ended up switching places with our version, Earth 616 version of Moira and Callisto. And that ended up making them become captors, if you will, to the degree of the other Earth figured out what was going on, and they sent a team here to recover Moira and Callisto. Okay, it's basically, again, like I said, a prelude to this multiverse adventure they're going to be getting into in a couple more issues from here. This is from Earth 597. Okay, their team name is called Lightning Force. All right, that's what they're called. And this really brings up a lot of interesting self-reflection upon ourselves, because, you know, it's one small change that trickles to different decisions you may have never made, creating vast differences between yourself and your alternate reality self. And we see this here in this issue. Basically, where we're at in this story is that the Lightning Force team, if you will, has been putting heels to our team, and where they were at this particular section of the fight is near an old museum, where our Captain Britain wound up finding an old uniform that the museum had on display that he put into. And throughout this issue, his self-reflection, his inner monologue, so to speak, is telling us as the audience reading that this uniform is very tight on him, and then with his in and out of powers, or reduced powers since the Inferno saga, and then just the unexpected straight to fighting to the death, so to speak. Our Captain Britain is very off balance in some ways here. This is where we start our issue here, and I'm considering having to show very limited pages, or try to figure out how to cover up some of this. And it seems like the Lightning Force version of Nightcrawler seems to be much like he's placing bets on this fight, even though one of his teammates is in it, right? Megan, it just is a very unique thought of this, because, like, yeah, all right, Kurt is German, I believe, but like to see Kitty Pryde here, And I know this is a world where, um, like they put the Star of David on their head, and it's kind of again how did this happen where a Jewish mutant is willing to work with the regime in charge, so to speak. We see again um, this alternate reality version of Captain Britain putting the boots to him. I'm really just trying to keep that image limited because of obvious reasons. You know, we don't want the quackista to appear too much here, right? But what else is also going on is that this version of Moira and Callisto are trying to escape because the lightning force is there to try to get them back to their own reality. But of course, with everything going on and the rubble exploding everywhere, they get separated a little bit, and our folks who are allied with Excalibur are trying to recover Callisto, try to protect their teammate and stuff. But because of the battle going on above their head, debris is falling all over, creating chaos here, alright? We get this, I'm assuming, kangaroo family from last issue. That Widget made them come here, and they're talking about, this atmosphere is horrible, whatever. Like they're on vacation, and the dad is complaining, and inadvertently the son almost gets hurt because of this fight between the two Captain Britons. But the boy winds up getting saved by our Brian, and he even makes a little like, what the hell? What is this person? In a way, but he has to get back to fighting. Nightcrawler, their version of Nightcrawler decides to pop in and transport him here and there and confuse him. And as the alternate reality Captain Britain, his name, what did they name him? Oh yeah, right. The team is named Lightning Force, and man. Oh yes, Haptman England, Haptman England, whatever that means in German, baby. But our Captain Britain was laying in wait, setting up a trap, and knocking that dirty Yahtzee right to the skies, right? We also learn, though, that Megan, our Megan, replaced their Megan with herself, unbeknownst to anybody, and started taking that Nightcrawler. And I wonder how she feels about that, seeing this version of Nightcrawler when the version that we know has been so possibly romantically entangled with her. So I wonder if that will affect how she looks like Kurt in the future, seeing this version of Kurt here. We see the Yahtzee Kitty Pryde try to go after Megan, but Rachel, of course, incapacitates her. Our Shadowcat and one of the agents that have been helping Excalibur got transported to this darkness here, this darkness realm with Widget. All right, and Kitty's just looking for some love. Kitty seems to be very infatuated with this gentleman, and he seems to be infatuated with Rachel. But we'll see if this winds up being a love triangle in the future. We do see again Widget opening up a portal here, and she couldn't really pass through it. This person from another reality, and it kind of causes Widget to malfunction a little bit, leaving Kitty and this gentleman to ponder what it is that Widget is. You know what I mean? Is this a living technology? Was this technology that was infused with an AI from someone else or something like that? We haven't really got much info these first years so far of Widget outside of that he can transport people from one reality to another reality, being a gateway, so to speak, basically to the multiverse. And what his ultimate goal is, or what Widget's ultimate goal is, it still remains to be a mystery to the reader, even like that. But as we wrap up this particular issue, we see Kitty approaching the alternate reality Kitty, to where she questions her, how can you serve these people? How can you work with these people so closely? And basically, they basically made that Kitty a demon. All right, which with their with their technique in their world, and it's almost like it. And Kitty gets mad at, like, how can you do that to somebody or whatever like that. But it really is like, what do you expect from Yahtzees, right? Like, oh, how dare you treat a person of Jewish descent horribly? And there's really not much else that can be said. Ultimately, there's going to be a trade-off for our McTaggart and their McTaggart, right? There's eventually going to be, there's got to be some sort of handoff, right? But here we kind of pick up with Kitty, Kurt, and Rachel talking about the adventure they had and how much it affected Kitty in some ways to see a version of herself be used as a tool by the Yahtzee Empire, and it really kind of makes her just question the world and everything and the evil that, like, it's like beyond comprehension how she felt like there was a version out there of herself that could have done that, and just coming to terms with it. And Kurt and Rachel basically are saying, like, you know, we can only control what we do, right? What other versions of ourselves do, what basically what other people do, we can't control that. We can only control what we go through. And basically, Rachel has to come to terms with that a little bit, you know. Still learning stuff, still learning things as a person, even with all her vast adventures with the X-Men. Here she is still trying to figure out the world and how certain things can happen the way they do. But again, we can only control how we react to such situations. And as they're flying by, we see Courtney Ross here. And don't forget, this is not our Courtney Ross anymore. And she ponders life a little bit here. And she says, so much power, so much potential. I can't wait until it's mine. Basically setting her sights on Excalibur. There seems to be some photos here of the crazy gang, if you will, that we had experiences with in the past. And that's where we particularly end this issue here of Excalibur. I'm pretty sure the next issue is going to deal with the prisoner trade-off, so to speak, right? Of our Excalibur team and their prisoners, and the alternate reality returning our Callisto and Moira McTaggart. And then we'll get into that cross-time crusade, so to speak. We're really going to be getting into the multiverse adventure here. Almost the first multiverse of madness, if you will. Oh, you got it? You got it? But that's what I have for you today. Where do we go next with our Excalibur team? We shall see as we get the last issue before this big crossover happens. Or not crossover, but this big multi-issue story, if you will. It's a self-title containment, so to speak. It's not like all over with many issues from many different titles. And that's pretty much going to wrap us up for today. I want to thank you folks for tuning in. I hope that you're digging what you're hearing. Let me know down below what you think. And until next time, peace, Nickums.